Hey, what's up my Koopa Troop? It's Koops and welcome back to some more Plants vs. Zombies. We're still on more ways to play, guys. We were on the puzzle, and last time we did iZombie and completely defeated it. Though we kind of failed a little bit at iZombie Endless, still nonetheless we did alright. Now we're moving on to Last Stand. And as you can see, Last Stand, there's a couple of them, quite a few. And we're doing Last Stand Day in this episode. Now, Last Stand's a little different than any other game type, and Crazy Dave's going to explain it to us. Oh! Where's all the sun gone? And the sunflowers? Oh well. Thankfully, you have some reserves. I also chose some plants to help you defend your house. I think I better nosy on out of here and leave you to it to victory. Woo-hoo! Alright, guys, as Crazy Dave explained, Last Stand, you were given a set amount of sun. And no sunflowers. So you have to survive for 5 flags and do the best you can. You can go over here to view the zombies. It just pops over. And you can see we got a cone head, a pole vaulting zombie, and the regular zombie. So nothing too crazy here. But you have 3,000 sun to do our best amount of damage with. So we really just gotta try and set this up however which way we can. Now we could probably do something like this, where we could put, let's say, if we do the repeater and we do the torchwood, it would not be smart to do the ice. But we could do the ice and do the spike weeds, and that might be smart. So here's what we could do. We could do, let's say, 2 spike weeds. Hopefully this will be enough. Let's go ahead and give it a try. 2 spike weeds, because these are relatively cheap. Like this up in the front. We could come back here and have maybe, let's say, or maybe even back all the way to here. That might work. A little walnut, because these are pretty cheap. And you can see, just plant them, you have to wait for them to spawn. And actually, I'll do a 3rd spike weed. I think this is overkill, but it might work out. I think all the zombies will die before they get there. And we'll go ahead and put these in the back to slow down the zombies. There we go. We have 375 sun left, but I think we're already probably pretty good as it is. I think I can use those plants throughout it. So let's start the onslaught and see how it goes. So here comes the first couple of zombies, the cone heads and things like that. Now, like I said, my plan was not to use the torchwood and the repeater, which would do quite a lot of damage, and I think that strategy would work just as well. But I'm going to try and slow them down with the snow peas and keep them all on the spikes the entire time. If they're on the spikes, they're not going to be doing too hot, so that's kind of the plan of action. Now, we already have a bunch of zombies coming in that top row, so that could be bad already. I maybe should have planted more snow peas, but they are taking damage nonetheless by standing on the spikes to begin with, so we still might be okay. You know, and I could always plant some more if I felt like I needed to, as those guys start munching on that, but they're both going to die pretty soon. Pop, and off that guy's head's going to go any second, and there he goes. Alright, so it did take a little damage, and that's not always the greatest. I do have some extra money saved up, sun saved up for cherry bombs and things like that. Let's see how well the pole vaulting zombie does. He's the one I'm a little bit worried about, because once he makes his way through, I'll be in trouble. Is he gonna pop is his head gonna pop off in time? Yes, it did. Okay. The thing is, will the next one slow down? Yes. The only problem we might have is if a couple of them come together, they might be able to jump over. However, I think the spike weeds are doing a good enough job of injuring them, so I think we should be okay nonetheless. You can see this works out pretty well. Maybe I should have done a 4th row of spike weeds, but I wouldn't have had enough money to do that. Or sun, facepalm, sun to do that, so I think it'll be okay. And that guy's gonna get a little bit of a head start before he slows down. Yeah, these pole vaulting ones are annoying. I maybe could have done a 2nd row of walnuts if I needed to, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. I really don't. I think we'll do enough damage with these. And actually, maybe because I put my guys so far back, they're a little bit in trouble. Maybe if I put them closer, they would be able to shoot faster and do more damage. So that was actually a bit of a problem. Maybe I should have moved them up 2 or 3 rows, because now they have to fire quite a long distance before it ever hits the zombie. I'm guessing the spacing's about the same, whatever distance you put them in. However, from when the zombie first walks onto the screen, it takes the travel path of the snow pea even longer than normal. So if they were closer, I would hit them more often. So that might have been something I could have improved upon, putting them a little bit closer. Regardless, we're still doing pretty well. Here's the final wave for this one. I am not worried about it whatsoever. Looks like we've got this one handled under control. As those last 2 zombies down there are going to slowly walk to their death. And that guy's head is going to pop off. Now, there we go. So we successfully defended 1 flag. You can come over here and you can grab a bunch more sun. to add to the reserves. And now we can see what kind of zombies we have here. Looks like the same kind of zombies as before. Alright, you can sell any plants for their value in sun. Damaged plants cannot be sold. So, I do think I have a couple walnuts that are damaged, which is kind of bad. Now, I could do more damage and use the repeaters is what I could do instead. Now, the repeater, if I use the repeater in torchwood, that would just... it's kind of overkill, and slash, if the zombies are frozen and then melted, it won't help me out. So maybe what I'll do instead is I can only plant 3 of them. Maybe just kind of one right there, one right there, one right there for now. Might work out. Let's go ahead and continue the onslaught. If we can last another turn, we'll get a couple more sun, and that should be able to help out. So with those rows pretty well defended now, the repeaters will do a lot more damage than the snow piece could. The snow piece will still do quite a lot of damage and slow down the zombies from before. So I think this should be a pretty good setup. Like I said, we could have also done with the repeater torchwood strategy, but I like the spike weed idea here, keeping the zombies at bay a little bit. Here comes 3 pole vaulting zombies all running together. Look at them go. Oh, the one got slowed down. Is that other one going to make it? Is he going to jump? He actually might be able to because he hasn't been taking much damage. There he goes. He was able to get over. That's what happens when one of them is in the way. However, it still should be okay because he's got quite a ways to go. And the snow pea is a far ways back and it's slowing him down. And there goes his head. Unfortunately, the other zombies behind him weren't slowed down at all. So that was maybe the downside to that plan. And that way this... one right here will be able to get pretty far. But I think when we get the repeaters in those other lanes, we will be A-okay. And in all honesty, I'm really not doing too much right now. I'm just kind of sitting here talking because there's not a lot needed to do. We'll slow down those 2 zombies right there. They're both going to be able to hop over. And this could be a little bit more damaging, considering that the 2 zombies right there, you know, really haven't taken too much damage. I guess they're both missing an arm, though. So in that case, they've actually done, I guess, taken some damage. Zombies are weak against mallets. Tap the mallet to use one now. Alright, I guess I can do that. Wait, I used one up nowhere. Oh, wait. Now tap on the zombies to whack them. Oh, like that? Okay. Well, I guess I used it on a couple of them right there. So apparently you can do that every once in a while. Use the mallet to squish some zombies, I suppose. Yeah, that helped us out. I wasn't really sure where that came from, but it looks like it's recharging right now. I have 5 of them I can use. I guess I can use those during last stand. And I guess they just respawn. You know, you use them like I'm at last stand day 1. And we have to try and get 5 flags. So I can use them whenever. We're at flag 2 right now. And we're going to end up winning this one. Here comes the final wave right here. I'm not expecting too much from the zombies. Maybe they'll impress me. I don't know. Here they come. Here comes that final wave. I don't see any pole vaulting zombies. And if there's no pole vaulting zombies, we are definitely okay. As most of the weak ones already go down to the spike weeds. And... the cone-headed ones are the only ones left alive right now, though they're getting slowly killed by the snow peas. And there we go. That'll be our victory for round 2. Successfully defended 2 flags. I'll go ahead and grab more sun right here. Let's see, what do we have coming up? We have a couple of bucket heads. Those will be a bit more of a problem, as well as more of the pole vault zombies. However, I can place 1 more of these down. I still won't have enough for another one. It's really unfortunate. But that's the way it goes. We only got 300 sun for beating that, so that's where I will stay here with. Hopefully not too many bucket zombies come in that 4th lane. They probably will, though, just to like mess with me, you know. They'll probably come in that lane. But otherwise, we're pretty well defended. The repeaters should do pretty well strategy-wise. Like I said, the snow peas are a little ways back, but it doesn't really matter. They're doing their job back there. The bucket heads are definitely doing pretty well surviving-wise. That might be a bit of a problem. It might be even worth trying to put the torchwoods up. However, we really don't get enough sun to warrant trying to install torchwoods, essentially. So I think I'm just going to have to let the spike weeds do their job. Now, however, the walnuts are definitely going to get chewed on here. I mean, the bucket zombies made it all the way there, and the repeater is the one still firing all the way at them, you know. So maybe another row of spike weeds would have been helpful. I don't know. Either way, they will die. I'm not, like, overly worried about it. Unfortunately, I don't have any upgrades for those spike weeds or anything like that. I could put chompers as well, but those are kind of expensive. I'd rather spend that sun on the 200 repeater. After I spend my last 200 repeater, maybe I'll work on some torchwoods. I don't know. Like I said, if I use the torchwood, the ice will slow them down, and then it'll speed them up. Actually, the ice will turn back to normal. I won't even have slowing down anymore, because I'll put the torchwoods in front of the repeaters. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Now, here's could be a problem. I really don't want that guy eating my guy. He hasn't even lost an arm yet. There goes his first arm. Alright, that worked out, but still, that was a little nerve-wracking that they can get so close to my guy, the pole vaulting zombies. We got 2 bucket heads down there, 3 coming in actually. This could be a bit of a problem, and I really don't want to spend 150 sun, because I want to save it for that one last repeater. But I might need to, as a lot of these bucket zombies are actually not taking too much damage, so here I go right now with this. That'll get rid of those guys. I should still get 300 sun, which will do me enough for the last repeater I need, and a lot of bucket zombies came in that row. Clearly my 3 spikeweeds isn't enough to do a lot of damage to them, but there isn't really much else I could do. Maybe plant another snow pea instead to help slow them down a little bit more. If there's 2 snow peas firing, it's not like it slows them down anymore, but if one zombie kind of gets in front of the other zombie, he'll get hit with the second snow pea, and then he'll slow down as opposed to just the first one slowing down all the time. As you can see, the ones in the back right now are faster than the ones in the front, and they constantly switch places, and as they switch places, the one in the closest now gets hit with the snow pea. So you can see that's how it works. They go back and forth trading places. Alright, so that's all the rows. Now we got one guy in the top. We'll see how far he makes it. He does have the repeater aimed directly at him. There goes his bucket. Yeah, when there's only one of them, they definitely lose out. So there's 3 flags down. I'm going to go ahead and plant a 4th repeater, or I should say 5th repeater down there. Still more bucket heads. I'll go ahead and plant that down there. And let's see. Actually, I guess I got 400 sun. I could repair a couple of them, or I could put a second walnut, which is what I think I will do. I'll put a second walnut here, and maybe a second walnut. One of these other ones was also munched on. Maybe that one. So there we go. We'll go from there. I'm putting a second one as opposed to repairing them, because this will also help stop the pole vaulting zombies when they make their way in. As 4 of them start running in here. Wow, pole vaulting zombies, way to go. They're going to lose their heads, though, all 4 of them pretty much at the same time. That was a pretty funny epic failure on the pole vaulting zombies' parts. Now I have a repeater in every lane, so I'm feeling a little bit better. If we can beat this round right here, this 4th round, we'll get enough sun for another 3 walnuts, and we will be pretty well defended. I'm not thinking these pole vaulting zombies will be able to munch past another round of walnuts, so that will be good. So I think we should be able to win this one. Like I said, next time if I did it, I probably wouldn't plant my snow peas so far back. I'd probably plant them right behind that row of repeaters right now. And like I said, there's a lot of other strategies we could have done as opposed to doing this repeater and snow pea. We could have gone with the torchwood. All of that would have worked just as well, I think. We also have the hammer, the mallets, I guess I should say, if we need those. I really don't think we do, but we can go ahead and give it a try. Let's try it out. And I can go ahead and just smack a couple of them while the timing's down. Yeah, there we go, just like that. So you can pause time for a split second and then just beat the crap out of all the zombies. It's kind of mean, but it's kind of fun at the same time, so I think I'll be okay with it. And yeah, so like I said, Last Stand is a different variation of the game, and it's one of the hardest variations of the game in my opinion. There's just, you really got to get your strategy and set up correctly, otherwise you will be in trouble. Now we're doing all right here, but there might be some coming up that we might have more trouble with or less trouble with. I don't know. I haven't done Last Stand in quite some time, and I've never played it as part of the LP, obviously. So it's a totally different variation of the game, which is why, it's going to be cool no matter what. So I'm excited to try more of it out. Day is the easiest of the Last Stands. A lot of the other ones are much more difficult, as these pole vaulting zombies will be able to climb over. That one right there especially, as he didn't get hit or slowed down at all by the snow peas. Here comes one last huge wave, and unfortunately for me, they're in the lane right now that has the weak walnut. So that one's probably going to get munched on and gone right here, actually. Yeah, there it goes. So I am going to need to replace that, unfortunately. That was not ideal to lose that, but not much else I could have done there. I guess I could have planted some potato mines if I needed to, but I'm going to see if I have enough sun for 4 walnuts. If not, then it's okay the way it's set up right now, but another walnut in the front would be ideal, actually. So we will see if we can get that. We'll wait for these last 2 bucket zombies to go ahead and kick the bucket, so to speak. That was pretty bad, actually. Alright, there's our 4 flags defended. Let's see, we have, looks like maybe 350, 325, hopefully 350 sun. We got a football zombie in here too. 325 is the number. That is enough for all of my walnuts, so I will go ahead and put my second walnut. Maybe not the best use of it, because I could have planted some more snow peas, but I think this will really help out our defenses like that. I don't think there's anything else I really need, so let's go ahead and continue the onslaught. If I really need to plant some potato mines, I guess I will go ahead and do that. or some spike weeds or anything like that, or a second or a third, fourth walnut, whatever I need. The football zombies will be a little troublesome, but I think we can handle them. I think this 3 spike weeds worked. Like I said, the only thing I would really change with this strategy is maybe moving my snow peas forward. You could also have done maybe torchwoods and the repeaters, but that would have been a lot more of an expensive setup, and you probably wouldn't have gotten any spike weeds down, or at least no walnuts down. I don't know. It would have been one of the two. But you would kill the zombies really quickly, so maybe that would have worked better. I don't know. But now we've essentially canceled out the threat of pole vaulting zombies. They're not going to be able to make it over. However, the bucket heads are still the biggest threat as they just tank damage for so long. The regular zombies are no threat at all. They will die walking on the spikes by themselves without any help from slowing down by the snow peas. The bucket heads, like I said, are our only real concern, as well as the football zombie coming in here, because once again, he's like a bucket zombie just on steroids, essentially. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good right now. I think we're going to handle fine. We got one last, the flag down there coming up. So this pole vault zombie will definitely be able to jump over. He's not going to get slowed down whatsoever by the snow pea. There he goes, his jump. Now he's kind of in no man's land right there, in between the 2 walnuts. He's going to get hit real quickly by the repeater. Like I said, it looks like the repeaters and everything fire faster when they're closer because they fire when the zombies get hit, essentially. So I don't know, maybe, like I said, if the snow peas were closer, I think I would be able to hit them more and do more damage. The strategy would have worked a little bit better as opposed to having all of that dead space back there. You have no lawnmowers or anything, so you have to defend against the zombies. You can't let them through no matter what. So there's no real point. And you have no sunflowers either, so it's not like I can use sunflowers for a line of defense. Alright, here comes the first football zombie in. He's going to get slowed down because unfortunately for him and unfortunately for me, he came in a lane with no other zombies, so none of them were used as a meat shield. He's the only one right there. He's going to be taking quite a lot of damage from the repeater and the snow pea as well as the spikes. However, he's doing quite well for himself. He's still staying on spikes, and actually another football zombie came right behind him, so that second football zombie is definitely using the first one as a line of defense. I might use a mallet right here is what I might do. It is the final wave, so I'll go ahead and do this. And I can go ahead and smack on a couple of these guys right here and win the trophy for us. That was a little bit cheating at the end, but whatever. I can cheat. That's fine. They give you 1 per wave if you need it, essentially, with the 5 mallets. So that worked out fine for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that last stand day. Next episode, we'll be working on last stand night. So till then, guys, take it easy. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.